So, we're on the final leg of Adi Shankaracharya ji's story. Where does he go now? So far, we've seen that he has three major disciples: Padmapadacharya, Sureshwaracharya, and Hastamalakacharya. So he has these three disciples. Where does he go next? There's still one more major disciple in his life story. The story brings us to Sringeri. After Sri Bali, he goes to Sringeri and he sees something so beautiful there. What does he see? In the ground, there's a snake and a frog. But now, one might wonder, how can a snake and a frog be in the same place? Because snakes and frogs, they're like enemies. One eats up the other, right? Snakes eat frogs. But here, a frog was just resting and a snake was giving shade to the frog. Because it was too warm, the snake was giving shade to the frog. And Shankaracharya ji said, this is a holy place. Two things which are supposed to be enemies are sitting right together, one giving shade on top of the other. And he says, on this temple, this place, we will consecrate a temple. A temple to honor Saraswati, a temple to honor Devi, and let's make this a holy place for people to come to. And now you see, Lord Shiva, he also has problems, isn't it? His goddess, his wife, has a tiger. At any time, the tiger can come eat the bull, isn't it? And he wears a snake around his neck. But his son, Lord Ganesha, rides on a rat. Anytime, what happens? The snake can eat the rat. And then his other son, Kartikeya, rides a peacock. Anytime, the peacock can eat the snake. But Lord Shiva's ever calm and steady. So like that, Sringeri was a place where things which were natural enemies were actually friends. And this is where he established the temple. While in Sringeri, there was somebody who came to see Shankaracharya ji. He knocked on his door. Acharya! Acharya! And Shankaracharya ji was saying, oh, who's this, He says, Acharya, I want to serve you. And he says, okay, what do you know? What have you studied? I haven't studied anything, Acharya. Can you read? I can't read, Acharya. Can you write? No, Acharya, I don't know writing. Sanskrit, maybe you can, because we study, we write, we scholars. No, Acharya, I can't. But what I can do, Acharya, I can wash your clothes. And when you're tired at night, I can massage your feet. And those who are writing, I can fill ink and have them write. I can help them write and I can serve them too. And Shankaracharya ji looked at him. He said, where are your parents? They've gone. It's just me. And he says, come. And his name was Giri. And Shankaracharya ji took Giri in with so much love because Giri just wanted to serve him. Like every moment, Acharya, are you okay? Can I get you water? Can I get you something? Just ever ready to serve. And not only serving Shankaracharya ji, but serving also Padmapada, Sureshwara, Hastamalaka, all serving everybody all the time. And so one day, what happened was, they had a class. So all of them were sitting out nicely in nature. And it was the starting time. Class was supposed to start. So Hastamalaka seated for class. Hastamalaka only has two postures. One, eyes closed, one, eyes open. His nature is very quiet-natured. And then Padmapada, ready with his notes and everything. And Sureshwara, also very ready. But Shankaracharya ji, he didn't see Giri. He said, where is Giri? So the other students said, what does he know? He doesn't know anything. Oh, why wait for him? Shankaracharya ji said, no, I'm not starting the class without Giri. So they were all stunned. Why? Because Giri doesn't even know how to speak Sanskrit. Giri doesn't know how to read and write. Why is Acharya waiting for him? And Shankaracharya just closed his eyes. Where was Giri? Giri was on the other side of the banks washing Shankaracharyaji's clothes. And not only his clothes, but his disciples' clothes. And Shankaracharyaji just closed his eyes and mentally connected to Giri. And Giri felt his Acharya was calling him. And he runs to the place where everybody is seated. And what does he do? He runs, and as he walks in, he bursts forth in a Sanskrit stotram called Totashtakam. And he praises Adi Shankaracharya. Vidhita khila shastra sudha jaladhe Mahitopanishad katitartha nidhe Hridaye kalaye vimalam charanam Bhava Shankara deshikame sharanam Bhava Shankara deshikame sharanam. He says, one who is the nectarian ocean of all the wisdom of all branches of knowledge, the abode of supreme truth as revealed through the great Upanishadic treasure. I meditate on your pure lotus feet in my heart. O revealer of path, Shankara, please be my refuge. This Giri who couldn't speak, who couldn't write, who didn't utter a word of Sanskrit, by his Guru's grace composed Totashtakam. And that was a very, very, very different meter. And he was able to compose it. So after this, Shankaracharya called him Totakacharya. And he was the fourth major disciple of Adi Shankaracharya ji. Everyone was so amazed. Like, how did that happen? When we have the grace of Guru, anything is possible. Absolutely anything is possible. So this was Shankaracharya ji's experience in Sringeri. Now where does he go next? What does he do? See, as he was traveling, now he was thinking, it's time that I sort of inspire my shishyas to take up work. It's time that I start to sort of pass things on. So his most treasured work, most important one, was this Brahma Sutra Bhashya. Because it was very, you couldn't read it otherwise. It was very difficult to read. So he was thinking now what to do. I want to pass on these teachings. Meanwhile, all the Shishyas had a meeting. They said it's time also we should, take over some work of our Guru. We should offload some work, They were saying maybe we should write a commentary on the Brahma Sutra Bhashya. So we'll propose this to Shankaracharya ji. So, commentary on the commentary. So they go to him, They go to him and they say, Acharya ji, we want to write a commentary on your Brahma Sutra Bhashya. So Shankaracharya ji says, that's a good idea. I think Sureshwaracharya should do it. Now at that time Sureshwaracharya wasn't there. Why Sureshwaracharya? Because the Brahma Sutras, remember, it addresses seeming contradictions between the Shruti, and also it establishes Advaita Vedanta as opposed to the Karma Kanda or other schools of philosophy. So because Sureshwaracharya was so knowledgeable, he thought Sureshwaracharya. But then what happened was the other disciples, they felt like that's not a good idea. Not Sureshwaracharya. Because he was Karma Kandi. He was, he was standing by that Karma Kanda. If we make him write the commentary, maybe he might go the other way again. Maybe he might go towards his old ways. But Shankaracharya said, I trust him. I think he will be okay. But, they said, no, Acharya, we're not comfortable with this, And so Sureshwara Acharya, he heard what happened. And next day, Shankaracharya went to see him. Says, Sureshwara Acharya ji, he had so much respect for him. He said, Sureshwara Acharya, this is what has happened. And Sureshwara Acharya said, I'm not writing the commentary. I'm not doing anything. Leave it. Shankaracharya says, today you are a real Acharya. Because I know you had the desire in you to write something for me and you dropped it. Today you are a real Acharya. And Shankaracharya ji looks at Totakacharya. He says, Totakacharya won't be able to write it because he's always serving. He was giri, he's always serving. Hastamalaka, he won't be able to write it also because always quiet. So Padmapada could write. So Shankaracharya ji said, Padmapada, you write this. Meanwhile, he told Sureshwara Acharya, you won't write the commentary for my Brahma Sutra, but you will write something even better. What could that be? There is something in our tradition called Vartika. Vartika means Ukta, Anukta, Durukta. Something in the commentary that is said, something that is not said, or something that may not be said clearly. Somebody can write a commentary on that. And that privilege he gave to Sureshwara Acharya. He said, Sureshwara Acharya, you write a Vartika on Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, on Taittiriya Upanishad, and you establish Advaita Vedanta in your own book. And you can call it Naishkaramya Siddhi, which means establishing Advaita Vedanta, that which is beyond rituals. And Sureshwara Acharya ji was so pleased. And so he started writing. Meanwhile, Padmapada was also writing. Sureshwara Acharya finished writing his commentaries and he showed it to Padmapada. And Padmapada was like, what are you doing? How can you write a Vartika on our Acharya ji's work? How can you even write any comment on it? And Sureshwara Acharya said, just read it. Padmapada read it. And he said, you have made the words of our Acharya shine even brighter. You have adorned them so well. And I'm so sorry that I, told Shankaracharya ji that you shouldn't write the Brahma Sutra Bhashya. He was in so much pain and he was really feeling terrible. And Padmapada was just feeling distraught. He didn't know what to do. But then he still kept writing. And what he did was, he asked Shankaracharya, he said, can I go on a pilgrimage? I just need some time, because he was feeling so bad. Meanwhile, he had written few parts of the commentary. He read it to Shankaracharya ji. Shankaracharya ji said, very good, very good. Now you go on your pilgrimage. And Padmapada said, okay, I'll go and I will finish it while I'm on my pilgrimage. So Padmapada goes. Meanwhile, what happens to Shankara? Shankaracharya ji feels something inside of him. Something's calling him home to Kalari. There's just some magnetic pull. Something's calling him to the place where he grew up. And then he remembered. He remembered that when he was young and when he had left for sannyas, his mother had given him one condition. She said, when you go to take sannyas, you must come back and perform my last rites. You must do that for me. And for some reason, he had a calling to go back. So he takes a journey back to Kalari, back to his mother. And he goes and sees his mother who is ill. She's dying. And he felt it. He felt it. And he spends time with his mother. And he shares with his mother whatever he has learned. He shares with his mother. And slowly, but very, very peacefully, with Shankaracharya ji, his mother passes away. Now, what to do? He has to perform the last rites as he promised. So, he asked for help because how to carry the body, how to build a funeral pyre, hard to do it on your own. He looked at his relatives and he said, "Can you please help me?" They said, "You're a sannyasi. You're not supposed to be doing all of these things. You're not supposed to be performing funeral rites of your mother." He said, "No, this is a promise that I have kept and I will keep it." So nobody helped him. Nobody helped him. He took all the wood. He had to take his mother's body and he did everything by himself. The whole cremation of his mother. He sprinkled holy water and he set it to burn. And in his heart, he invoked and thanked his mother, because without a mother, nothing is possible. People may take sannyas, but a mother is always a mother. And he writes stotrams glorifying mother, many, many of them. And with his heart, letting go of his mother, he proceeds back towards his pilgrimage to meet all of his students. He goes back. Hastamalaka's there, Totaka's there, Sureshwara's there. Padmapada comes back running. "Acharya, Acharya!" Says, "What happened?" "Acharya, you won't believe what happened." He says, "You tell me what happened." He says, "Acharya, I went to my uncle's home. And what happened was, I met him and he asked me what you're writing, and I said, Brahmasutra Bhashya, commentary. And I left that Bhashya for some time because I wanted to go, to a pilgrim place, and I told my uncle to keep it. But apparently his uncle was of a different school of philosophy. So that Bhashya, which Padmapadacharya would almost finish, that uncle burnt. Whatever he wrote was all burnt. And his heart was feeling so heavy because that's my teacher's work. And he poured his heart into writing it. Now all gone. And he tells this to Shankaracharya. Shankaracharya looks at him and says, "Padmapada, don't you worry. Do you remember before you left, you read to me what you wrote?" And Padmapada said, "Yeah, I read to you few of what I wrote, just a part of it." Shankaracharya said, "I remember exactly what you told me. Sit down and I will tell you what you wrote." Look at the glory of a guru. Shishya writes something. That gets burnt. Guru has to tell Shishya what he himself wrote. In this way, Shankaracharya dictates that. And that bhashya is called Panchapadika. So if you see the commentary of Padmapada, it won't be complete. It'll just be a portion of it. And it is said, as for Sureshwaracharya, he also had this urge to write Brahmasutra Bhashya. It is said that in the next life, he came as Vachaspati Mishra. And he also wrote a commentary on Brahmasutra Bhashya by the name of Bhamati. This is the glory of Shankaracharyaji's disciples. How they revered and loved him, and how he loved them. Now, what happens? Where does he go? His students said, "Acharya, now, you have propagated Advaita Vedanta, but there is still one place that you have to go. This is Sarvagnya Peetha. This is all the way up top in Kashmir. There is a temple there. And it is said in that temple, there is a seat of omniscience. Means only the one who knows all can occupy that seat. And there are 4 doors to that seat. There's a door from the north, from the south, from the west, and from the east. And so far, people have come in from the north, from the west, and from the east, but the door of the south was closed. So they said, Acharya, you must go. You must go and establish Advaita Vedanta and sit on this throne. So he takes his disciples and they go to Kashmir. And right when he's walking in, all kinds of scholars come because they have to test him. From all schools, from Jaina, from Bauddha, from Sankhya, all kinds of scholars come and test his knowledge to see if he is really worth ascending that throne. And one by one, Shankaracharya ji defeats all of them. And slowly he makes his way to the throne. Opening the south door, he sits on Sarvagnya Pita. And this way his disciples were pleased. Everyone was pleased with him. And Shankaracharya ji now leaves that place. He takes everyone to Kedar and he has a vision of Gaudapada. Gaudapada is Govindapada's guru. He has a vision of him coming to bless him and saying, Shankara, you've done great deal in your life. What did he do? He wrote the Bhashyas, Bhag, right? Swamiji says, right? The Bhashyas for Bhag, Brahma Sutra, Upanishads, Gita. What else did he do? He wrote Prakarana Granthas. Prakarana Granthas means topical texts like Tattva Bodha, Atma Bodha, Viveka Chudamani, so that we could prepare ourselves to understand the Gita and the Upanishads. Otherwise it becomes very hard. We don't know where we're coming from. Not only that, but he wrote so many stotrams, so many hymns of praise. One you've recited in Shivaratri, Shiva Manasa Puja. He is the writer from everything from to all the stotras that you can feel or you can think of. Somehow Shankaracharya ji will be there. In one of the stotras that you know, he will be there. He's one who has written Mudakarata Modakam Sada Vimukti Sadakam, praising Lord Ganesha, Saguna form. Then Ajam Nirvikalpam Parabrahma Rupam Ganesham Bhajema. Same Ganesha Nirvikalpa form. All. Then Bhaja Govindam, Hammer of Delusion, praises to the Devi, Annapurne Sadapurne, Pranavallabhe. Right, so many. Shiva Manasa Puja, Atma Tvam Girijamati Sahachara. Right? All of these things were Shankaracharya. He established temples. He made ways for us to worship. He gave a procedure for us to worship. And now, Govindapada, Gaudapada, the whole Guru Parampara was with him. And they were so pleased with him. And he had that vision of Gaudapada. He felt that now it might be time to go. Now it's time to go. So what did he do? He told all his disciples, look, there are 4 of you. Each of you, you take one portion of Bharat and you establish a matha there. So that this teaching doesn't stop with just us, but it carries on to the whole entire world. So I'm going to assign each of you a place to take charge of. So what was that place? So in the east, in Puri, he assigned Padmapada. with the Mahavakya Prajnanam Brahma. And this is called Govardhana Matha. In the south, in Sringeri, Sureshwaracharya with the Mahavakya Aham Brahmasmi. And this is Sringeri Matha. Sringeri Matha, as I told you, is the same lineage of Swami Shivananda and Puja Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda. Each Matha, they take on different names. So you will see in Sringeri Matha, the Swamis will take up, some Swamis Saraswati, and Brahmacharis will take up Chaitanya. So like that, each Matha had special names in their tradition. Whereas in the west, Dwaraka, Hastamalaka, and the Mahavakya is Tattvamasi. That was known as Kalika Matha. And in the north, Joshi Matha, that's near Badri, Totakacharya was there, and the Mahavakya is Ayamatma Brahma. This is called Jyotir Matha. So like this, he told his disciples, all of you should go and establish mathas and take this knowledge far and wide so that it reaches to the core of every being and they also learn and enjoy the truth, which is the knowledge of the self. And he gave them so many instructions, how to run it, how to carry it forth. And it is said, one of his last compositions is Sadhana Panchakam. Vedo nityam adhiyatam taduditam karmasvanushthiyatam. So like this, they were saying, Acharya, what's happening? He said, no, I'm just preparing you. I want you to share everything with everyone. And so they were all in Kedar. And everybody was there. And one night, Shankaracharya ji was there. He saw all his disciples. They were fast asleep. He looked at Padmapada. He said, wow, look at how he came from Sanandana, the one who was, washing clothes, and he ran in the river, and how lotus petals came underneath his feet, and how he slayed the Kapalika, and he saved me. He looked at Padmapada. Then he looked at Sureshwaracharya. He said, oh, Sureshwaracharya, what a wise disciple. So established in the Karma Kanda, but yet was so humble enough to surrender to me and is so deep and experienced in his knowledge. Then he looked at Hastamalaka. Hastamalaka, ever silent and ever reveling in that knowledge. And he remembered his meeting with Hastamalaka. And he looked at Totakacharya and he said, this is my Giri, ever ready to serve. Not one moment has passed wherein he has not served me. He looks at all of them and he says, I hope that I have also served them. And with this, Shankaracharya ji, at the age of 32, he merges back into infinity. He never dies, nor will he ever die. But that Shankara, we say the book is from finite to infinite, but in true glory, he was always infinite. He was always infinity. That's how Shankaracharya completed his life. Now, you can't clap yet. There's a verse that talks about his life. Ashtami Chaturo Veda means by the age of 8, he mastered all of the Vedas. Then Dwadashe Sarvashastra Vid. By the age of 12, he knew all of the Shastras he had learnt from his Guru, Govindapada. Shodashe kritavan bhashyam. By the age of 16, he had finished completing all the bhashya. Dvatrimshe munirabhyagat. At the age of 32, he emerges back into totality. This is the life of Adi Shankaracharya ji. No person in this world can ever accomplish what he's accomplished in 32 years. There has been nobody like him, and there will be nobody like him. We cannot pay him back. He's not here. The only thing we can do is to pay him forward. What we cannot give back to somebody, we give to somebody else. And that's how we pay back, by paying forward. So his legacy shouldn't stop with him. His legacy should flow through us. Just imagine, without him, where would we be? Could we even open Bhagavad Gita? You know who was his number one fan? Puja Gurudev. Loved him. Puja Gurudev wrote commentaries on Bhagavad Gita based on Adi Shankaracharya ji's bhashya. On Upanishads based on Adi Shankaracharya ji's bhashya. You see how the Parampara flows? And from Gurudev to Guruji, to Mukhya Swamiji, to all the Swamis, to all of us. Now it's our dharma to give what we can to keep this knowledge alive. Because I guarantee you, if you look and think about what's the best thing that you've ever gotten in your life, deeply reflect. It will only be knowledge. It will only be knowledge. For that, we are eternally grateful to Shankaracharya ji. We started the prayer with Shruti Smriti Purananam. Alayam Karunalayam. The abode of Shruti, Upanishads. The abode of Smriti, Bhagavad Gita. Puranana means all the stotras that he wrote. The abode of that, Alayam, Karunalayam. And the one who is utmost compassion. Because you know why? He had 4 kinds of disciples. He had one who was always serving, one who was so meditative, one who was so experienced, one who was incredibly intelligent. But he was an acharya to all kinds of people. Namami Bhagavat Padam. We bow down to his feet. Shankaram, the one who gives auspiciousness. And there can't be anything else more auspicious than knowledge. Loka Shankaram. Not only he is Shankara, but he is the world's Shankara. He's not Guru, he's Jagat Guru. And this is the story of Adi Shankaracharya ji. And now you can clap. So now, we have maybe a few minutes before Swamiji comes. I wanted to take this up with you, but I will just tell you very little and then we'll say the closing prayer because we have to go to our next program. This is a very beautiful address that Govindapada gives to Shankaracharya before he leaves. Before he leaves his guru, what does his guru tell him? And if you truly just read and reflect upon this, it is a brilliant message, each and every one of these points. So, I want you to just read, reflect, and write. Whenever you can, whenever you get the chance. I hope in some way, Shankaracharya ji has made it to your heart, to the core of your heart. Because only when he's there, then you can make it to everybody else's hearts. Right? We'll say the closing prayer. We invoke God's grace blessings of Puja Gurudev and the blessings of the entire Parampara in completing the life and teachings of someone so holy as Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya ji.